Many Fnatic fans are in the crowd. There's a couple out there, and I'm leaving them for a second because I think there's more fans for this one. How many are here for TSM?
Well, the Cinderella story for them. Let's see if they can please the fans. They've already won them over, but job's just getting started. Pistol's already underway, and we see Fnatic already stacked up on the horseshoe. flusha, the only one that's off on a different angle, and again, they go for this close push with olofm. karrigan's going to be the first one to get shot at. He falls immediately into jungle, so staying passive, but cajunb needs to get a little bit quicker to get this read.
Yeah, I'm loving how TSM are keeping that window open. olofm's got these initial entry frags so many times from there. They're not going to give it this time around. cajunb trying to pre-fire on that catwalk entrance, and also wants to back up to the sites. They slowly make Fnatic push in, but slowly is the key word there. Making sure they've got to work very, very hard for it.
And they got to be careful as well with JW already up inside the ladder room. They're changing it up just a little bit now, so karrigan will get held in place by that. That smoke does mean that he has to guess someone is there, but watch out because here comes your take.
Yeah, dupreeh at the front lines. That's what it's all about. Get as much information as possible. Starts the battle. KriMz. Fnatic will be the ones to spill the first blood here as there's a quick return from Device. But he's going to flag the fact the A plant is coming. But karrigan still doing work. Finally brought down inside the jungle. JW, he's waiting to be this little lurker coming in from behind. Can't do enough damage. TSM. It's all up to flusha on Fnatic. He's managed to bring down Device holding on the CT stairs. So it's cajunb and Xyp9x to get the retake. flusha wants the earlier kill. He still hasn't got this plan down yet. Maybe he can do a dump, but they're running in on him. cajunb, flusha takes one, needs a second, looking for the head. He takes it! flusha with a 3-for. Then Fnatic take the first round here on the tees.
What a turnaround at the end by flusha. Huge reactions inside jungle to catch out JW behind them initially, and then flusha to close it out. I said push them. I thought they were going to try and prevent the bomb plant to begin with because it looked like the round was already going their way. 19 HP, and he hits those shots. They actually were trying to prevent money coming out, not losing the round. So big, big play. Oh, but the scout already. karrigan in window. There's your headshot. KriMz is down early. 3 scouts, by the way. 3 from TSM right now.
Not just 1, 3. Is TSM trying to slow up this this quick movement by Fnatic, but again, Fnatic, they're basically being given the mid. Yes, you got the scout pick off over on KriMz, but the second JW's able to get up there, they get the smoke onto the window. They're able to blind up TSM to a point, but that's why kajunb forced to come out a little bit more aggressively. That bouncing JW, looking into short, Device caught him out now.
2 scout headshots. This spy is paying off so far. flusha, pronax, olofm now have to regroup and organize themselves and decide where they want to go on this take. They don't have any smoke grenades. Okay, one on flusha, my mistake, but there's another one. flusha on the way in. Device does get caught, but watch out underneath. dupreeh, that nade does a massive amount of damage before olofm got there, but karrigan's not done. Second one for him with the scout tag on a third. flusha's low, they do get the kill, but they're still pushing forward. Smoke to cover the bomb plant, and kajunb's got to hurry up and get over to support Xyp9x.
Man, that tag almost helped Xyp9x to finish off flusha. He's down to 13 HP. Starts with his own little bit of a flash. pronax knows 100% where Xyp9x is. That's why kajunb is going to play the distraction game. Banging through the box, but pronax takes care of Xyp9x, and it's up to kajunb.
flusha again low HP. He's got company this time with pronax, and he's got the Galil. SMG comes out on top. kajunb picked that up on the rotation, and it's one-on-one. Jumps over top. flusha not hit from the first bullet. Advantage goes the way of movement. Mechanics with kajunb, and he takes full advantage, but no kit. And I'm not sure he's fully got this. No, not at all. Not even close. So Fnatic get away with the round. Great economic damage dealt to Fnatic, but they still pick up the round. That's crucial because, again, the 3 scout buy also means that the CTs are very limited.
Yeah, and again, need a pause right now. Looks like KriMz is asking for one. But Fnatic, so far, it hasn't been these easy contests, but at the same time, they're getting in on the site. They're securing it. Yes, we find ourselves in these end trade-offs into 2-on-2 situation styles, but then Fnatic, they still have 2 rounds up against TSM on the D, and this is what they needed to get. They know they're already battling up against Hill. You're 1 map behind just because of the lower bracket disadvantage. This is the start you're searching for. Obviously, this is only just the very beginning of it.
So apparently some sound issues in the house that we have to deal with, but we'll get those out of the way. What a start, though. What a pace. Both rounds come down to 1-on-1s. flusha won the first one. Lost the battle in the second one, but the time was there in their favor. And if that sets the tempo to how a best-of-5 is going to go, this series is looking awesome. And they will force out actually on the CT side again. They're going to go for another scout on karrigan. And with this SMG on device, if he can start building up some economy just with kills, it'll work in their favor. pronax has the MP7 out on the opposing side.
It's amazing how much space karrigan's got to work with over in jungle, because he's managed to find a lot of Fnatic when they enter the A site.
And I was about to ask what KriMz was going to do, because he was in a position to grab that AK. He does. That means JW goes for another SMG with smokes. So they do have a little bit more to execute now, because they've got 3 up. pronax and flusha have the others.
Unpaused, so let's get back into it. Round number 3. Fnatic for the first time, they're going to commit a little bit more heavily towards mid and B side by the looks of it. And this is the same time as TSM try and play a lot closer on the defense with device underneath there on Shadow.
karrigan tosses the nade, falls. Xyp9x still scouting out.
He didn't see anybody with that last jump. He's going to smoke it up anyway, which means Fnatic, well, they are going to push up, and they managed to bring down Xyp9x, which means the B site not fully open. They've still got cajunb waiting there. Fnatic, they want a little bit more information before this. But why they wait, supports arrive, so karrigan's moved over with that scout. Looking up, but the flashes do start. cajunb bringing down pronax. That's number 1. 11 bullets still left in the magazine.
And the other issue is now they're traded down to 4-on-4, and there's no nades left for Fnatic. They've got no entry. There's your jump scout tagging him up. olof's dropped to 13. That's a powerful spot to use that weapon. It's actually, 9 times out of 10, you're already jumping it, so now you can fire away. I mean, it just adds to the potency of it. But again, no nades left right now, so Fnatic have to fight their way into these sites. And cajunb still has this M4 up.
Such a massive problem for Fnatic when the brakes get basically put on by TSM like this. Where does Fnatic go? They've only got 30 seconds left on the clock. Either they're making a full move over to A, or they're hoping that TSM go over to A so they can move to the B side. But karrigan's still with that AWP there. He's going to see him coming. Now 20 seconds on the clock. Fnatic, they have to make a play. karrigan's still jumping it up. And now he gets the vision, takes out olof, the man he tagged up before, looks for the second, but JW gets the entry frag. Back over on the bench, it's going to be KriMz to bring down cajunb.
And that
the
was your
plant will
rifle.
drop, and there's the extra time.
That's your rifle as well. He was in good position to use it, but cajunb loses the battle to the AK. flusha's now going to find device. And dupreeh's all that's left with this 5-7.
He can't do anything. He really can't. He's up against 3 AKs with just a 5-7 and armor. So Fnatic should be able to take up this 3rd round now against TSM.
1 HP right now for flusha. He needs to hurry up and get away. dupreeh does find JW. If they don't get further down these hallways, flusha could potentially drop the AK as well. Yeah, he's gonna run. He should be just far enough at this point. Yeah, he is.
dupreeh took a long time to get away from that too. He only had 13 HP. He's got the space for it, so everyone will survive, and dupreeh saves the AK. Just as big for TSM as no one's got over 2.9k.
Well, this is the thing, that early investment. We saw how close that second round was on that defuse. They actually killed all 5, couldn't get it, but with the 3 scouts coming out, now they have to save 1 more, so they're giving another round to Fnatic here. Again, though, if that goes back the other way, 5 seconds the difference on the defuse, TSM turns around. They're in this and potentially up 3-1 right, or going toward 3-1 right now, so it's been back and forth. dupreeh does find the first shot. That's pronax to go down. olof responding, though, and flusha is actually going to contribute to the advantage. Now takes down karrigan and make it more. cajunb gets caught as well.
And oloff read that perfectly. He realized they're going to come back over to try and pick up that AK, so he tossed the nade in, and they just kept the spray coming towards the window as device, who's the man holding from there, and he actually is able to outshoot oloff. But this reveals out the positions of both Xyp9x as well as oloff, and they get mopped up by JW and flusha in turn.
And lots of money now. In fact, straight to the AWP on karrigan. And with the money bonus at 4 rounds, they'll be able to grab a hefty amount of grenades as well. The question here, though, is Xyp9x. Okay, he's late buying out the nades, so he does go for head armor. I thought he might just go for the chest and try and sustain a little more for the next round, but he's going to go for 2 flashes. They've got 3 smokes to delay.
Fnatic looks like they're going to commit a little bit more into that mid. They've gone for underpass multiple times. At TSM, this time they're looking for it. It's dupreeh who's the man with the angle, but heavy smokes across the mid. Xyp9x going to bring down JW to start off the round. Took a large amount of damage for it, but was able to be successful. As flusha, he's not going to walk into the crosshair, is he? No, they're actually chasing each other out from there, and flusha's going to kill off karrigan. It's going to open up Palace and also expose the A side a little bit more. While KriMz and pronax trying to get some level of advantage over towards Cat.
Bomb still dropped safely inside Horseshoe as well, so they will have to circle back on that once they find more information or perhaps another pick. And changing the angle again on the defense. That smoke top connector does just mean dupreeh has to play it. And look at Olof, he's already up. He's already gone to ladder, jumped up into the vent. cajunb gets caught. And they don't have a response because they've rotated that player off the catwalk.
Man, looking at Olaf, he's brought the same amount of form, and here it is again, bringing down dupreeh. He was doing this yesterday with the AK, using it almost like it's a scope. Able to win so many of these long-range battles. He's guessing there's a player down a bench. The funny thing is, he's actually guessing right, just not far enough to the left. Whereas Zipnix, now Olaf able to do it. He's already managed to find 3 for the round, leaving Device with that AWP, the last man standing.
flusha's on the chase.
And Device is on the run.
They're all fanning out.
Got to keep that AWP as far away from Fnatic as possible.
That's the only gun they're going to have to work with as well. Even with the money bonus, they'll be able to force out into FAMAS if they want.
Yeah, but that AWP can change so much. If you're able to get into that mid, get a couple of picks, you're looking great. But it looks like that will be the contest for it. Yeah. In fact, just a bit of a quick peek, but reveals the position. Olaf's going to flash it out, and Device blind as anything. He does get out and killing off Olaf, but there's a secondary flash now coming in. flusha in close, and he will bring him down. Worth the battle for it. They will lose an AK for it, but they pick up the AWP instead.
Pick up the AWP, exactly. And on that, they won't bother going for the full force because they can't get out around the AWP. If they have that up, then there's a chance that they can justify buying rifles to support it. They won't. They're going to go straight to a Deagle. Couple P250s out, and that's about it. And you're dead right. You just highlighted it and pointed it to me. flusha's on 10-1 right now. And yesterday, JW, in fact, JW leads the tournament right now with ratings and statistics on entries. The first game they played against TSM, JW was the only one that really did perform. So the fact that flusha's coming on early is definitely going to help them overcome the problems they had on day one.
JW, the timing couldn't have been any worse for him, and now they're going to try and rush him. He does get the kill on Zipnix, but the nade from cajunb will bring him down. flusha's still there to support it. Throws down the Molotov while pronax causing issues. They're already on the B side while flusha's playing this mid battle against TSM. They just want to get up and find some kind of rifle or weapon, but they can't do it. flusha just racking up more kills for the count.
So dupreeh finds himself lonely and left alone to go down to flusha.
flusha's now 13-1-1.
Another 3 in that round. I mean, the economy builds for him as well. 76-50. He's actually going to throw his gun away and buy out for a teammate as a result. Full nades come out. Got 5-7 as a secondary pistol. Pick that up off a CT player as well. So double op setup now. Device, karrigan going to pick that up. What's the spawn position going to be, though? So karrigan's the first one to get out of spawn. Device goes to his default over toward A. And they fan out accordingly. But watch out for Fnatic. They're already setting up.
Yep. And when these flashes and smokes will arrive, then, well, there's already your first flash as the smokes are flying in. dupreeh in the corner next to Firebox, takes down one, and he's actually managed to stall up the push. There's still a trade-off as a 2-for-2, but karrigan got this AWP back inside the jungle. The smokes are very heavy. Flash is going towards the CT stairs, and karrigan trying to find himself a more forward position as cajunb's moved up to the CT stairs.
That drops the bomb again as well, so now they have a chance to hold them off. They can't even get in position for the plant. He was waiting for the team flash. It comes too late. Zipnix was up too close, and that catches out pronax. So cajunb closes it out. Now we're on the board with TSM. Finally, they can't let this get too far ahead. And crucially, this resets a money bonus CT side. So if they don't, I mean, even winning that round, they did do it in a fairly efficient fashion, but if they don't win this one in a convincing fashion, they're still going to be tight in the next buy after this.
Yeah, man, this is getting rough now. 6-1 TSM. Is this the start? Is this the start of momentum? karrigan looking to try and gain more of it. Peeking up for that mid, but it's the quick pusher that came up from below. Going to force him back and out of that mid connector. Always got to keep your eye out. It's actually KriMz, the man, trying to find that earlier push. Takes a lot of damage, down to 10 as TSM. They do not want to let underpass go freely. Zipnix is the man that gets to defend over an apartment. Olaf, last time we saw him here, he was able to find 2 pickups.
And Fnatic's really trying to limit TSM's ability early in the round to do damage. A lot of late smokes out on window. That forces them off of it. They don't have a second player inside connector because of the way Olof's been coming up from the underpass. In that round, it was actually KriMz. But this means they actually have to play by reading Fnatic late and trying to stack up the correct bomb site because they're not getting the picks.
And that means when you got to hold on to as many of these nades as possible. How many have we got? We got a crap ton of flashes. Only 1 smoke and grenade left. But they're taking already considerable damage. And the Molotov couldn't have come at a worse time. So you're 30 seconds left on the clock. And the rest of the team of Fnatic, all you can do is hold. The TSM are well prepared for the Zipnix. Copping a nade to the face, they kind of know he's in the corner, and they will bring him down, but cajunb from the bench, finding two, there's more coming in. So he has to reposition himself up as Olof looking for the best crossfire he can find. Takes out cajunb, shoots in, takes out karrigan too. The last two left cooking in the kitchen. A JW takes out one of them. It's all down to dupreeh to stop Fnatic from taking their 7th round. And he manages to tag up JW, fully revealing his position. All Fnatic, well, they would love to get rid of that AWP in dupreeh's hands.
Team flash to come out.
Yep, they're getting out. dupreeh's on the run, and he's so far away that Fnatic cannot chase him in time.
And TSM needs... They look a little bit nervous. I mean, Zipnix gets a little antsy in the corner. They've already covered him off. I will say cajunb stayed well composed to hit those 2 shots. We talked yesterday about on land. He's been quite patient. They're actually going to chase all the way. dupreeh does get Olaf, so at least one down, but he's still got company. Does KriMz get in position? No, dupreeh gets him as well, so a bit of a consolation prize. But again, money bonus reset. Like we said, cajunb is the only one who can actually get anything out right now. But they need to settle down. This is where Fnatic has all the experience. TSM, this is their first major final. They're known to crack under pressure. Get it out of the system early. Try and compose themselves. cajunb, I will say, started off well in that round, but the rest of them need to do the same. Device also needs to get back into this quickly.
And running up so close here. KriMz already managed to bring down karrigan. There's still 2 more defenders looking to hold this A side as the flashes, the nades, they all come out. And the rotation player from TSM, they're expecting more presence over here on the A side. But funnily enough, Fnatic are going to start playing mind games. They want to find more picks by the looks of it. JW is just hoping. Device, he's got no intention of coming up.
And the setup, they've already rotated off of their default. So this could favor Fnatic. 1 delay smoke out on the A ramp, but here they go. Flash already over. dupreeh has gone forward of it, though, but he's got to be so careful. And there's one. Can he get more? He does. That's a gift. Thank you very much, KriMz. I'll take your AK and the bomb. But pronax does come back in and answer him out eventually.
Yep, and they got to try and hold this even further. Device, he can't see the head, but he can find that one. Pronax going to go down. Realize there's still another one on the side. JW tries up in front of him, point blank range with the AWP. Zipnix on the bounce will drop, and it's all up to Olaf. He's been big for them in the round so far.
And slow it down. Again, we started with 2 very close rounds. It was a similar situation to this, a 2-on-1 late in the round.
You want to try and slow it down with 23 seconds? He has to get over and get this plant. The covering of the smoke, he knows there's one at the back.
Well, I was more speaking from TSM. They needed to slow it down and secure, because if they overcommit on the push, they limit themselves to 1-on-1s. There we go. That's a well-executed round, and Device was perfect on the stairs.
There's too many corners for Olaf to check. And now with the double AWP'd up from TSM, saved from that last round, Fnatic are the ones that are going to be keeping their heads in. Of course, it's not the first time that TSM have had those double AWPs, and they didn't find the initial frags last time either.
I mean, this 7-2, yeah, the last couple rounds prior to that were a little more favorable to Fnatic, but TSM's definitely in this. Theoretical to speak, oh, nice play by karrigan. Reads KriMz perfectly from the underpass, but theoretical to say this, but remember, if that 3-scout buy had worked out, could actually still be TSM here with the favorable position on the scoreboard. Device going to fall off on the angle, has to cover from top, and Fnatic are slowing it down because they lose the early man and they don't have anyone else in position to counter peek it.
Yeah, so all they do is just wait for TSM to try and find the extra advantage, but TSM just got to play it patient too. As you said, slow it down is the best thing you can do when you're 1 man up. pronax is the man, has to have a bit of a peek, able to see Device. Revealing the positions, or at least revealing his position. Flashes up towards the window. Like, you've already got karrigan moving into a better position. Able to see around just the edge of the smoke.
Oh my goodness, just goes by. That still delays it, down to 37 seconds. Still a lot to work with in the fact that they're spread out in the mid. But this is a full change in the rotation as well from the way TSM decided to go about things. They brought Device up close and pulled karrigan all the way off of middle, back over to where Device has normally been playing. So it's a different angle, and Device up close was effective last time. We'll see if he can do it again. Flush is already going to find karrigan, and it's all going to be Device when they come in, but dupreeh's going to find them on the backside. They thought they had free access, and now Device gets flusha.
Yeah, and that bomb is dropped. There's no way to get it back into his hands, so pronax, all he can do is take some weapons off, but he can't even do that. So TSM hold the round. They pick up the secondary AWP as well, so KriMz was able to recover that.
And that's a very good read from dupreeh to get up close because it's late in the round. There's no call over at B that there's any indication they're going to be there. So he starts getting up close, knows they have to be there eventually. Even if he doesn't get the kill, they can call for a slightly quicker rotation and counterplay on the entry. Instead, he gets them both, drops the bomb. There's nothing flusha can do to recover it.
I'm wondering if he also felt like if Fnatic felt a little bit pressured on time then, because that's the second time in this map that he has done that same position. So Fnatic not checking these corners. And now they don't be waiting this game out. How long can they keep doing this? You keep having 1 minute burnt off at the start of every single round, been forced into this, well, unfavorable push.
I mean, that's the thing. If they can't find the early picks, at least don't give them up. If they play passively, it does make the job a lot harder for Fnatic to find the openings. And that's the rounds that they got was actually when they got the man advantage quite early on. As karrigan does take a bit of damage crossing back over window. That means JW is going to have to fall off because his spot's been given up and cajunb was already pushing out above him.
Yeah, JW also dropping down to 21, so he's not a healthy man either. As, where does the rest of Fnatic really want to move? cajunb just floating in between that mid as well as B site. He knows the underpass is being pressured, but at the same time, he knows they could just easily move up to apartments. And wants to help out Xyp9x if that's going to be the case. But Fnatic, well, there's JW now finally going to go down. kajunb finds that one. Device prepares himself for that push in through mid-connect. It takes only one, however, and that means the AWP is into the hands of KriMz. But how long can he hold it? As the TSM, yep, that's how long he can hold it. No time at all. pronax will at least get the plant down, so they get some extra money from this, but it'll be a very quick shot. Mopping up, and TSM, 4th round here on the CTs.
And these double ops are definitely coming alive now. 2 for cajunb that time, 2 for karrigan. Device will probably be the man to go for it T side, but right now they're going back to this default. We saw what kajunb can do defensively with the op on Dust all weekend long. He's been amazing at holding off the cat pushes. Now he's starting to come alive as well. In the backside of A, so Fnatic have to find an early opening. Again, back to 5 AKs.
Actually fun watching kajunb on that M4 because it was Device who started with it in the last round. And TSM, here's karrigan again looking for that pick. Letting him play a little bit more aggressive, pushing dupreeh out through the window.
And dupreeh was actually in a good position because that close smoke on Cat would have allowed Olof to slide to the boxes, but dupreeh was up close enough that he would have spotted him doing it. That sense changed, but Fnatic, again, not able to find any opening.
They just can't see TSM. TSM aren't giving him the options for it. We're not seeing the direct AWP battles down mid. The picks coming in through the B side. You're having to commit so much to even kill off the truck player. And then in through A, TSM have been mixing up their defense points. Like it's either been front or mid or back. Well, it's difficult to read.
It's not only that. The players' positions in terms of which site they're at changes a lot. They're very dynamic. Probably one of the only teams that are more than willing, based on the situation, what guns they've got out, what spawns they have. They can all play every position, and it definitely, when it starts to work and click, it's very tough to play against. Because right now, again, karrigan, this is not where we've seen him. He's all the way at the backside. Xyp9x is the one up close, and that's definitely a change of pace for how Fnatic have seen things on this B site.
We're counting down the time again. 32 seconds on the clock, and karrigan's brought down JW. So apartment's already hard to push in. That flash to stall any maybe floating pusher that was behind him.
And that's why they change it, because with the AWP, again, what guns they have. He gets the long shot. Now Xyp9x can return from Cat.
karrigan missing 2 of these. That's allowed Fnatic to jump down on top of the side. He knows there's another one. Now he does hit onto KriMz. Looking for that hit. Finally, he can take down pronax, and karrigan going big with this AWP. flusha reveals position, but karrigan, Forfa takes the quad. And TSM dragging back round after Fnatic, now bringing it only 2 rounds the difference. Excellent
dynamic play. Again, you can't praise that enough. That's just knowing your teammates and putting trust in it. Xyp9x gets up into the catwalk with the rifle. karrigan just goes to work. And again, we hadn't seen him there prior. Now it's actually going to be a change again. It's kajunb that heads over that way because karrigan has the mid spawn. So the early round is what dictates how they play this.
flusha's trying to play the decoy game at the moment. Just pop that flash up with Xyp9x. Just doing the jump scout, and with the Molotov, there's no way for Fnatic to quickly push in. They want it. Like you're looking at the Rec 9s as well as the CZ, and here they come. Another little flash out, but Xyp9x waiting for it, killing off pronax from below. 1, 2, looking for the third. Can't finish it. olofm will drop down, but the support's there from kajunb. Sitting on that A short from Cat. He's waiting for more players, getting tanked up. Down to 18, needs more support. Olof still on top of that side. They've got that M4 in hand, but Device removing it from him. And flusha, the last man left standing on the site, bringing Device down to 24. Well, it's a 1-on-3 situation, and cajunb, flusha knows he's locked into that corner. There's nowhere else to go because the AWP is watching for him. They're all coming down, and TSM will successfully retake.
Good bomb plant from Fnatic, considering it was dropped at Van on the way in. And what allowed that was actually cajunb was slightly too far overexposed to the right. That allowed olofm to get the damage into him, forced him back, and then they could pick up the bomb. If he had just held slightly a tighter angle, and I think he thought he was because he was scoped in. I don't think he realized how far out that he was. Then they wouldn't have even got across. So that's a bit of a victory in that sense. They'll get money for that, and now JW is going to go straight to his op. We'll see if he can finally get something going toward middle. And
yeah, currently he's got nothing going. He's 4-1-11 on the KDA. It's really, really low.
And another massive change. The op actually goes to device because he has the better spawn for it. So Cajun's back onto a rifle, and he's in an entirely different position again than we've seen him.
Yep. Switch and mix. pronax, that Molotov into mid, it just slows him down. That's the CT's one. Making sure there's no push up through underpass. JW giving away his position with that AWP. Banging out from apartments, just hoping for some forward position to be exploited. But the rest of Fnatic, yeah, they're coming in with pressure, but Xyp9x can't hold the line. He's got karrigan there. Able to claim the second of the third man that was pushing in, and actually takes olofm. Point blank, looks for JW, takes another set. karrigan going a huge in the last couple of rounds. He's probably going to be hearing pronax in a moment, at least going to see him with the bullets. So finally they can slow him down, but with these extra players, good nade position, takes out device, and they didn't do enough work on dupreeh, and pronax can't hold it. They've got to recover both these AWPs. They've held onto them, and there they are. This is like the 6th round in a row that TSM have held onto these double AWPs, and it's the last round of the first half.
Talk about lead by example, though. karrigan, not only your strat caller, he's doing all the work right now. Him on B with this AWP is absolutely relentless. And Xyp9x had actually gone down. The frag distribution is quite close. karrigan's on 15, it's 14 for cajunb, 11 and 10. Xyp9x is down on 6. Again, he's the support player in that position. When he goes down, that makes karrigan's job even harder, and he's still pulled off those shots. This time, already silenced. olofm's going to find him. Yeah,
this is the first time in a very long time Fnatic got an advantage, but it instantly gets turned around by device. Sitting up on the ticket booth, taking olofm through the mid connector, and dupreeh waiting for one, taking out two, third in the smoke, but he can't find flusha. flusha just shooting back out of it. But this is device with the auto sniper. That's the reason why they don't want to push in. They've only got 2 players left. The smokes are there, but they have no choice. flusha, he's onto the side, the flashes are down, but the plant also with it. So Fnatic, can they hold? Can they get that 1-run advantage coming into the second half?
They won't be able to fall back into that A ramp, though, because they've already got the crossfire set, so device does find the first. Xyp9x actually gets flusha, as cajunb was the first over.
Easy retake.
Make no mistake about it, they've got the kit and lots of time regardless this time, so we'll bring it back. In fact, we started off 6 rounds to the good at 7-1 at one point for Fnatic, and then TSM with dynamic, great teamwork. Teamwork has been their strength this entire tournament. Their Dust 2 play was all team-oriented, and again, it pulls them back. They end up 1 round ahead at the halftime. I wouldn't have expected that the way this started.
No, you really wouldn't. Fnatic were looking like they were rolling with all sorts of momentum, but then TSM, they just found their mojo. They were able to move so nicely. I'm wondering if they can achieve the same thing on Teeth. Like, the rotation game, the mixing up defense positions is great, but now they're playing a different game. They're playing the entry frag game up against Fnatic.
And again, it's a case of what might have been in the situation where that 3 scout round came down to a 1-on-1. They actually got the kill, but no kit. We could be in a much more advantageous position for TSM. Now, remember, we are going against Fnatic. It is Mirage. JW is extremely dynamic toward window. And KriMz in the connector to support that. I mean, if they start rotating, it's not quite as dynamic over the whole map from like what we just saw from TSM, but it is very difficult. Their early mid presence, that 3-peak setup that they have, can be very hard to contend against.
Well, let's watch TSM. Let's see how they go. Pistol rounds now underway, and JW's going to get the vision. He saw 4 at least running down this mid into the connector. How aggressive are they being? Jumping through into the window. KriMz holding up at least. No, he cannot actually stop dupreeh's movement. But cajunb, they throw out the nades to try and block him up in this window as Fnatic. How aggressive does TSM want to do? They basically cut this map in half.
And device is going to do it himself. He's got the bomb, but he gets the kill. That's important. So flusha down. This will force a rotation, but it's still 3-on-3. They haven't opened it up entirely, so they'll sit back. They still got a minute to contend with.
Yep. Just slow it down. Let Fnatic worry about which bomb site they're going to. That's the reason why Fnatic are pushing up so far into this catwalk, because they're worried they need to get over to A quickly, but device waiting for him. Gets the tags out, but it goes 2 ways that way. And then the nade in around the corner. Hits device. He's back up the ladder, however. Alive on 42.
And he needs to get through that vent. He does. This will let him get out of there because otherwise he's pinched.
Yep.
They're going for that boost over top. That spots dupreeh. Meanwhile, Device is already on the backside. And look at that nade. And Device gets it. Not only do they just hold them off, all I was going to say was hold off the catwalk. If you can't get the kills, let Device find the entry. They do more than that. Everybody down. So a pistol round apiece, and they're going to go straight to 2 AKs and 1 MP7 already out for Xyp9x. karrigan's going to do the same.
TSM, they got what they needed. Fnatic, they're going to be a little bit more reserved than TSM was in the second round of the CT half. They've only got one of these scouts in for KriMz. And they're hoping they push into the A site. That B player is going to be pronax and might have a lot more pressure applied to him. flusha also trying to get some information down the mid.
karrigan already sliding across. Now keep in mind, he's got the SMG, so he doesn't have
pronax got
the damage potential. He just wants information, exactly.
They're coming, and now, wow, dupreeh just instantly drops him. He was the one man that wasn't flashed. And they've already got the site. Fnatic, they don't even want a bar of this. They don't want to give him SMG kills.
Yeah, no, and it's not even the SMG kills that they're giving away with the frag distribution. It's also that they've got armor they want to save in this scout for KriMz. So another one of those rare situations that you only sort of see in the high-level competitive when they start thinking mathematically, where we might potentially see 9 people alive and yet the round expire with a bomb detonation.
Yeah, they know they just play for the next one. So Fnatic, and obviously TSM were in a pretty good state to get back-to-back rounds anyway, but that movement, I want to go back to round number 1 here of their T side. How quickly did they come up, and the aggressive jump into middle. So far of this whole LAN tournament, it's always been this late delayed play. Even now, first half of this, like the amount of breaches into the bomb sites within the first 30 seconds, maybe 1-2 rounds, that was all. But TSM was like, you know what, we're just going to run it.
I mean, that's, again, a pistol thing. You can get that train rolling for you. Yep. Not only that, yeah, it's pistol. It's probably not going to play too much in the minds of Fnatic, but that's one way to say, hey, we know we can take mid as well. So it does start to get a little bit psychological at that point. But again, Fnatic's been in this position 1,000 times. It's TSM that are the ones under pressure. Right now they're living up to it. 3-round lead, but the 3 AKs are going to have to go against this scout from KriMz.
Olaf, he's realizing he has to back up, throws out the grenade. It's going to hit nicely into cajunb, but they've still got the armor and the AKs. Olaf cannot win this from Shadow. There's a little bit of help to be there, so karrigan will be dropping at the same time. Now TSM, they're currently holding back. Xyp9x is the man taking care of the plant after he already managed to get himself another frag. And all of Fnatic get locked into this mid connector as well as jungle angle.
Secondary flash, that holds them off.
And KriMz just can't see anything with this scout. Like, even for a small advantage, is cajunb, Xyp9x, and dupreeh, they're all killable with the scout. It's Device who's the man who's the healthiest of them all. And there's cajunb already onto KriMz. Gets himself a second onto pronax. And flusha. The bomb is still ticking out, and Xyp9x won't be able to get out of this one safely. But TSM still hold on to the 3 AKs at the end of the round.
Yeah, that's the important part, because dupreeh was low, so he had to take off early. The important part on the entry actually was there was a smoke out. dupreeh was lurking from Palace on that close-up player, but he couldn't peek because that scout's already staring at him. Not only that, the smoke goes out low. He plays far enough back on jungle. He still has that angle on dupreeh's entry, so they have to get up over top of Tetris and control him, just contain him, and they did it perfectly. And then as we saw, they just smoked off the site, walked in, got the plant, so a good read to control the scout. That was the biggest threat on the entry.
JW is looking for this opening in mid. Using the M4 to spray through, he was able to tag up karrigan, but they're boosting over the top of the smoke, missing that shot with the scout. Speaking of scout, Mr. Olaf, he was the man given that scout after they managed to recover it. Even after the bomb plant went down, he went back in for it, but no early frags, just that damage onto karrigan. And TSM again controlling up mid. The connector is where you're probably going to see that first little battle. KriMz is worried about it. With the smoke, there's not a lot of vision to play around with. Device down to 4. karrigan's able to bring down JW though. So the man advantage now belonging to Fnatic. dupreeh waits perfectly. KriMz got a little impatient and wanted to have a peek.
Talk about mid control. Not even able to get out there for Fnatic, so they'll play it passively. flusha just wants to make sure no one's going to push through the front side of the window, but that's not where they're going at all. pronax spots up exactly where they are. cajunb drops. Device back into him with the op through the wall, and now they'll head in toward B. flusha's rotated back quickly, though. He's already there to catch Device. That's your M4, but good trade. That has to be traded immediately, because that prohibits Olaf from coming in with friends.
Surprisingly, he turned to the side because Olaf was covering his back there. The nade, no damage onto the T's. But where do you want to come out? You can come out through the window. You've still got 2 flashes available here for Olof, so we can play around with this. Just pops the first one so we can check to the right. Shoots karrigan in the back. He wasn't looking there. Their angles weren't perfect, but Xyp9x is still able to hold the bomb site.
I was about to be very critical of Xyp9x. If karrigan's going to hold that angle with his back completely exposed, it's Xyp9x's job to watch the door. That flash popped out, but it still didn't catch Xyp9x. It was that he didn't make the call soon enough. He wasn't in a position to take the shot. So if he then loses the one-on-one, both those deaths potentially could have been his fault. So he does pull out the round a little bit closer than they would have liked for comfort, but TSM now sitting on 12. It's Fnatic who have gone extremely quiet. Remember, they had 7-1. They haven't got a round since.
Yeah, now they're actually going to have themselves a pause. It looks like, yeah, it's just a timeout from JW. There's no issues. They just need times because they've got issues inside their play as this CT side. Your money's not really great for the next round as well. So Fnatic, they need to slow this game down. That's probably the most important thing for them. TSM are just rolling with so much momentum, and it's happened from the start. Like Fnatic, almost all of their 7 rounds they claimed were in the first half.
Well, they were all in the first half.
All the first half.
They were all. I mean, there's 11 rounds unanswered right now from TSM, and we talked about how nerves and jitter look like. Again, you're in those close situations. Maybe it's playing a factor against TSM. I stand corrected. They've definitely settled into it. Again, it's team play that's doing it for them. And now it's Fnatic. Remember, there's a map in hand right now to TSM, so this could go, if they don't pull themselves together right now on the back of this timeout as a team, this could go 2-0 already for TSM.
It could.
And again, this is their first major final. I think I've been saying for a while they're due for a win, but they still have to earn it. It's not like it's going to be gifted to them, and right now they're doing the job. And you can't even really highlight one player. Yes, karrigan's been very strong. cajunb's actually on 17 along with him. They're all extremely close. Xyp9x is playing his support role as expected, but it's team overall, and that's. I mean, other teams have to look at this. This is one of the problems North America has. You could argue that they have as much skill as potentially TSM does. Maybe not as much depth in their lineup, but certain players, they never play like this. If teams learn to do this, much like Keedstars from Brazil, it makes a massive difference.
I just almost want to flag more the fact that JW hasn't got the space to be dynamic. I know he was one of the first things we're talking about for Fnatic CT side, that ability to control window, connector, and make TSM fear coming down the mid, but right now, like, he's been playing with the M4 more. They're giving the rifles over to Olaf. But it's still that same positional play where JW's been trying to control that mid. But since the first push, since TSM ran through the mid with pistols, Fnatic, they just don't want to be there anymore. Now, they are here in an eco round, or semi. So they're trying to group themselves up against TSM.
And again, the mid, well, obviously in this case due to money, mid's open, so they'll be able to walk it out. flusha does just want to go for this peak, but they need to find a read. They need to send someone out to recon this. They know the economy's hurt. They know they're going to be on this force buy or pistol buy of some fashion, so they can't walk into a stack. They can't afford that. That throws things back the other way entirely. And remember, TSM late in games does have problems closing it out. Any advantage they can give themselves, the best. And there's cajunb. That's going to find flusha.
Seems almost cruel for TSM because the panel was saying it, you're saying as well as like TSM, no choke. No choke, just don't do it. Device getting heavily tagged up there by JW.
And it's not even that you choke late. When you're on 14, it starts slipping around now. When you're, I mean, if you're at 12, you start giving up economy. You walk in, like I say, to a stack in this position. You break yourself. Then you start fighting for the rounds. Whereas if they play this anti-eco to perfection, then they start building up a bank. It's much easier to find those last couple.
Olaf can't see anything there. Initially, he saw the foot of TSM Planter. dupreeh's waiting for the rotation out, so he knows that they don't have to worry about jungle. They can keep their eyes over towards the CT stairs and connector. cajunb taking care of that connector player, which was pronax. In fact, dupreeh, well, he can try and do this as quick as he can, and maybe he should be a little bit, well, I say quicker. Device as well as cajunb is so low, but with dupreeh on the flank, JW, he's just surrounded on all sides. There was no way he could defend that one. And the 3 AKs held for TSM, 13-7. The money is their way. They're still 9K on Xyp9x, but Fnatic have themselves a buy round. And they're going all out for it. They've actually picked up the auto on Olaf. And this is going to be just him hold A. That's the only thing. JW hopefully get the picks in mid. That's what Fnatic need.
And JW had a good spawn to get to mid as well. He'll get there. Smoke already close. Cat, that'll make him think there's someone there, but right now it's not exactly what TSM have in mind. They've got other plans. flusha comes out. Now you've got this 3 setup. This is what Fnatic are famous for. flusha Cat, KriMz up close. He's actually the one to drop and check the underpass, and JW just holding straight up middle. But the fact they haven't smoked the window should indicate that they're not coming, because you're always going to smoke off JW. So Fnatic's going to change it up on that cue.
Olaf is blind. He can't use this auto sniper. And they're coming through on the A side.
The number of smokes. Look at this fake. This is perfect. They pulled everyone from Fnatic. They're going to walk in. karrigan's already there. Device is joining the party, and Xyp9x has the bomb down. Perfect execution on the fake. 5 smokes out, and they bought it.
And now TSM, all you got to do is hold it, but you've already lost JW, so you lost one of your orbs, and yeah, you're pointing him out. What's that movement of the rogue T at karrigan into the kitchens, holding him back. TSM also. They've got all the great positions. They hold almost everything apart from Cat, and that's where pronax is coming. And yep, it's cajunb in through the rear. olofm will shut him down with the auto sniper and flusha. They've got apartments. Now it's only one player left. Fnatic is the best position for Xyp9x, taking 2. pronax just spraying through. He's on the site. There's no more time. He can't do anything apart from go to use. There is no time. The bomb will explode. You'll end up killing them all. So they're all dead. But TSM, they are 2 rounds away from taking map. Well, basically be classed as number 2 because it'll give them a 2-map advantage against Fnatic.
When your support and role player steps up in a massive clutch on which he has to hold not only 3 players, 3 angles and pulls that off, man, TSM are on a whole other level right now from Fnatic. And they need to wake up. The Swedes are definitely on the back foot. cajunb came in on that flank. That was the right call because they were already forced off. If he just comes in from the same angle, they're already going to have the retake positions established. So he caught one. That made it a lot easier. Right now, already a trade going out. It's dupreeh in with one and out with the other.
Yeah, but TSM, they're on the A site. And again, they can't. Fnatic, it's this retake situation, but they're so sporadically placed. Yeah, you can be looking for potentially a flank, but Device and JW, they already find each other, and JW will get that kill. Important for him as well because that means he's got the AWP. This retake's possible as flusha mopping up karrigan. The cajunb waiting for JW to arrive. Perfect. So pronax and flusha, can they stop TSM from having 8 map points? They're not doing it. They're going to let it go.
They can't. That bomb's planted in default spot with Xyp9x not only up close to slow them down. Even if they get him, cajunb's in the A ramp. And we made mention yesterday of why that's so good because not only is it extremely open angle for him to peek, they've got to go so far away from the bomb if they want to take the fight to him. It's not often, I mean, sure, the Hiko, are you kidding me round? That's one of the only rounds where someone actually won in that situation. So Fnatic think better of it. They fall out, and it's match point already for TSM.
It's so quick.
And this goes to Dust 2 next. And they've been, I mean, brilliant is an understatement. Wonderful is an understatement. They've been awesome on Dust 2 all weekend. So this is looking good. But again, it is Fnatic, and TSM can't take anything for granted.
That's right, but at the same time, TSM, just this one round, they still remain undefeated as far as the maps go in the tournament. Not even just the series. There's olofm, already able to find that pick off on dupreeh, just popping a couple of bullets through the connector, and now again, able to come up through the underpass. He's got the flank coming in. In fact, he's going to get shut down by cajunb. He was hoping to flash and then take that rotating player out.
Tight spot for karrigan to be in. He will have heard one player go past him. So that gives him a bit of a read, but this is a very tough spot, and Xyp9x just has to bide himself some time.
I'm wondering
actually this works perfectly because flusha goes too far, and that opens up B. They over-rotate it, and karrigan's going to walk in. Now he just needs to get support. Cajun's a little out of position, so yeah, flusha gets a free one.
karrigan was too busy watching for the corners. He was hoping to clean out the B side. He didn't realize like what we knew, which was flusha so far up the mid, so the bomb is in the middle of the open, and that means Fnatic can rotate over. flusha takes second, and they should be able to mop up Xyp9x, revealing his position. Yeah, flusha will take his third for the round, and Fnatic, they're picking up the consolation prize and keeping their hopes alive here in map 1.
And keep in mind, that's their first round in the last 14 that they've won. That's ridiculous to say against Fnatic.
Actually, notice the money as well here on TSM. Xyp9x is having to buy up for the rest of his teammates. If they end up losing this round, then Fnatic will have the economy advantage.
I mean, it's been close rounds. Get out of the 2-on-2 win 2 rounds ago. They lost everyone after the round before that. 2 before that. I mean, they've been keeping them fairly honest in terms of the buys. And there we go. olofm now has an op-out, and dupreeh's going to find that out the hard way.
But karrigan, look at it just roll in. The flashes are there, and JW playing from shadow is able to stop the push in a very, very quick round. 23 seconds in total for it. And Fnatic back-to-backs, and TSM in a position they haven't been so far, or in a very, very long time. Welcome to Pistols.
TSM need to close this out quickly. Just psychologically, if they start to slip in another situation like this.
You said it was meant to happen at 12 rounds, not 15.
Well, I mean, let's face it, they've got a number of match points still to work with, but if that starts to happen, that takes the wind out of their sails into the next map because it just gets inside their head. If they close this out right now, I'm going to make a bold prediction and say they'll take this in 2 because they'll just have the confidence for it. Pronax, though, does catch cajunb again. Like you said, pistols, so he's just rushing in that time.
Yeah, and flusha playing up on cap, but he can't win the battle here. There's damage coming into Device. And the AK gets also in that hands of Device. There's only 2 players left. JW knows where he is, and he wins the battle here. So there's only the pistol that's left. It was the P250, and that's out of the hands. So Fnatic, it was still the pistol round. They managed to make Fnatic drop at least 2 of their weapons, but the orb remains in the hands of Olof. And TSM back into rifles again.
And it's going to be 5 AKs that they go with.
The double orbs.
Xyp9x was $50 light of being able to pull out the op. It would have been glass cannon had he done so, though, so why risk it? And there's JW's slide. That time we saw him go to the window, drops down, checks underpass, up connector. This allows KriMz back closer into the site, and that means they've got one more defender as the take comes in. dupreeh gets one, but he's immediately dropped. There's KriMz. It's exactly the positional play they want out of that. When JW drops, that's how he has to shuffle back in. Bomb still goes down, though. Great smokes to hold him off.
Yeah, but they need to wait for these smokes to dissipate. Olof on the flank, able to find Device, which means now TSM are walking behind themselves. He wanted the AK, but cajunb moved up so quickly.
Massive play, cajunb. Because now not only does he have the A-ramp to hold, they take it out, make it back to 2-on-2. karrigan has to be the one to delay again. flusha's going to come the long way around. If he can find the angle onto karrigan, they might have a chance.
Oh, they got
and
one.
They do. And the smoke's there. They might get this defused if they try and hold it. Cajun has to come back in. He's already on the bomb. He gets the first, but does he get him in the smoke? He's still defusing.
The time!
He's firing
in the right position!
Spot. Oh my goodness, Fnatic fires at the wrong spot.
JW Lean doesn't exist in CS, but he was basically in the right position, off the mark, and TSM, that's the kind of moment too where you start to tilt. You go for the spray through the smoke, you know where the bomb is, but you're just not connecting on the player.
Talk about escaping defeat. That smoke forced the hand, the first kill goes on, and oh my. He had time. He had plenty of time to get that kill. He just couldn't find the angle. You almost want to be Cadian at that point, running with the knife.
pronax, good position, but he guys just started running up the ladder, so cajunb. They get the initial entry frag onto the A site. And again, all you can really do now with this AWP.
Good forward position from dupreeh as well. This will slow down rotators, so they actually flash it because they, or pardon me, smoke it because they saw that first flash. There's KriMz back at home inside connector.
Oh, they're sniffing each other through the smoke. dupreeh and Olof, but Olof's going to get the first vision there with the CZ auto. The bomb plant, it is down and ticking. cajunb from inside a sandwich takes out 2. But the push is still coming in. Device, the last man left standing with the Galil, but the bomb, well, he takes out 1, looking for the second. It's range. Olof, the time is ticking, they're running out of time, and that's it. The round's going to go the way of TSM, and GG from map 1. TSM.